Hey folks, Mike Iaconelli here in the office. I want to talk to you a little bit about a Berkley Havoc bait that I designed called the Devil Spear. You know, we've had a lot of questions on how do we fish this thing, how do we rig this thing, so I want to go over it with you. You know, originally we designed this bait to be fished in heavy cover, to be pitched, flipped, and fished in and around heavy cover. We designed a bait that's streamlined, no appendages, but a thick enough body to hold a big hook, a big 5/0 hook. But we wanted a bait that has a lot of action on the fall. So we came up with this tail. It's kind of a spear-looking tail that has these thick and thin rib sections on the tail. And what that does is as it falls, that water catches in that tail section and makes it move. So the first way we're going to rig this thing is Texas style, okay? Your original Texas style. And I'm going to use a big 5/0 straight shank hook. That's a VMC 5/0 straight shank hook. And we're going to rig the bait flat, so it's laying flat. And then we're going to put a tungsten weight and Texas rig this thing. You know, the interesting thing is that the heavier the weight, the tighter the tail movement on this bait. So if we rig it with something like a 3/4 or 1 ounce, even an 1 1/4 or 1.5 ounce weight, as we punch that thing through the heavy cover, we're going to get a real tight tail movement. You know, the same bait rigged Texas style on a lighter weight, something like an 1/8 ounce or a 3/16 or a 1/4, we're going to get a lot wider tail movement on that bait. So the first way we're going to rig that Devil Spear Berkley Havoc bait is Texas style. You know, but then we started playing with the bait and we started realizing there's a lot of other ways to fish this bait. One is on top. You know, is to fish it weightless, like you would a frog, like you would a minnow style bait. And for that style, I'm going to use an extra wide gap hook with a little spring lock, but no weight on it. So we're just going to screw lock that deal in there. Again, for this style rigged on the surface, I'm going to fish it flat, tail down, and then we want that straight so it's weightless. Now we can cast this thing out, fish it on top, over the slop, over the weeds, the lily pads, and you're going to get a real subtle tail movement. And sometimes they want that little bit more subtle action on top. The next way we're going to rig this bait, and this I can't take any credit for it, is a way that Skeet Reese told me that he fishes it. And it's with a kale weighted or a belly weighted Swimbait hook. Same thing, we've got a wide gap hook. We can fit a 5/0 in this bait. It's got the little spring on it. Again, we're going to screw that on there. But this time, when we're fishing it as a swim bait, we're going to rig it sideways. So we want to get that bait and rig it so it's got that sideways profile. So now the tail's sideways. And when we rig it like that, it's the perfect swim bait. And on a medium retrieve, that tail is going to go crazy side to side. But here's the beauty. When you're retrieving that and you kill it on the fall, it's going to shake and shimmy on the fall and that tail is going to go crazy. So we can rig it as a swim bait. Some of the other ways we can rig it, we can rig it on a drop shot, power shotting. We can rig it on a traditional jig head for open water swim baiting. And finally, we can use this thing as a jig trailer. A little tip from my buddy Monroe: get the Devil Spear, get a scissors, and we're just going to cut this thing right in the middle, from the tip of the tail all the way up to the top of the body. And when we do that, we take that tail and now we've created 2 separate arms. Take that bait, rig it on your favorite jig, and it's the perfect trailer. Mike Iaconelli here, Berkley Havoc Devil Spear. Buy some today, try rigging it in one of those ways, and you're going to catch more fish.